Hey there, this is Real Talk Baseball. I'm Carlos Baseball. With me as always is Will Power. And Xavi decided to join us today from a long vacation trip. Thanks for joining, guys. How's it going, guys?
I ghosted you fools.
I noticed. How's it going, guys? Everything good?
Yeah, can't complain.
Yeah, good, brother.
Good, man, good. We have an interesting show today. We are going to talk about the Dodgers having the best record in baseball and winning home field advantage throughout. And 62 is that a home run record we're going to get to see. And we're going to talk about the playoff bracket like we did last week. And we're going to talk more on the fantasy baseball segment. So will take over on that. We will name the champ of our league on this one. And then we're going to go into the Alnl Mvp race, which we're pretty excited to see who we pick. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put them here on the board, and we'll put it here on the screen so everybody can see. But first, I just want to talk about how you guys doing? Are you guys enjoying the last week of baseball?
Not
all at once. Everybody slow down.
It's been kind of a little boring on the Dodgers side, just because we already clinched like 6 months ago, basically. But but no. What's really exciting is watching Aaron Judge. It's been watching Albert Pujols. It's been watching Miggy this season, who's probably not going to play anymore. You know, there's so many legends that are in this game right now that we're probably not going to be able to see next season. Pujols, Molina, I believe Miguel Cabrera have all said that they're going to retire after this season. And the only one that we're kind of waiting on is maybe Adam Wainwright, who could also be on his way out. Yeah. Justin Verlander still hasn't signed an extension, I think, although he did say that he still wants to play. So we'll see if the Astros re-sign him, or maybe his plans changed after he had the Tommy John surgery. I don't know. He's been great since he got back. So he did have to go back on the IL once, unrelated issue. But other than that, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't want to come back next season. One guy that does worry me, though, is Max Scherzer, because he already had arm fatigue this year, hasn't even started in the postseason yet. He had arm fatigue last year in the beginning of the postseason. So is this going to continue on some type of trend for this guy? I mean, he's almost 40 years old. It's almost time to call it quits.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You forgot to mention one Spanish speaker announcer is going to retire this weekend, and that's Jaime Carrin. It's like the big announcer for Spanish-speaking people, you know. So we know we have Vin Scully, right? He was a huge part of Dodger baseball, not just Dodger baseball, but baseball in general. And Jaime Carrin on the Spanish side, if you speak Spanish and never heard of him, it's like, you know, you probably live in the moon, but you should kind of understand, right? Javi, I'm pretty sure you're right.
I mean, most definitely.
You would hear him, even if you didn't know the guy, you would hear the AM radio and you would hear his voice. So he's finally hanging it up. So that's a huge thing for him, and a huge accomplishment. And I think he deserves, you know, the big ovation this weekend. I know there's six games against the Rockies. I think the season ends, I believe, on Wednesday, right? Or is it Tuesday? One of those 2 days. It's kind of off because the baseball season started a little bit late because of the strike or whatever, the lockout, whatever you want to call it. But nonetheless, it is going to the season's going to end, and this guy's going to hang it up. And yeah, I mean, a lot of props to that, man. Let's get into it, dude. Let's talk about the Dodgers clinching home field advantage. I mean, you just said it, Will. You talked about it. You went ahead and you said that it's kind of boring not watching exciting baseball, but I mean, we just saw the Dodgers play the Padres, right? And I thought that was a little bit interesting. I thought the Padres were going to put a better fight than that, but home field advantage means a lot, right?
It does. You know, there's a comfort level in baseball that it's just it's there or it isn't, and we've seen certain growing pains with players like Arenado, who didn't do very well in his first season with the Cardinals. He was still, you know, really good, but he wasn't that elite player that we saw in past seasons in Colorado. And everyone's like, oh, it was the Colorado effect or the move to St. Louis or whatever it may be. But then you look at him this year and he batted .295 and 30 plus home runs. So apparently Colorado didn't have as much of an effect on Arenado than, you know, everyone thought that it may have in the past. But looking at what he's doing in St. Louis this season, it's just it's incredible to see what this guy can do. Honestly, he's kind of in the MVP race as well. You can't really take anything away from this guy. Best third baseman defensively in the league, arguably, because you still have Matt Chapman and Machado, but dude, that guy, he's been elite in every aspect of the game since he was brought up as a rookie, and it's exciting to see those type of seasons that we're having right now.
All right, but let's talk about the home field advantage for the Dodgers. How do you feel about that?
I think it's great for the Dodgers. I feel like, in one aspect, you look at the record, the home and away splits, and the Dodgers basically have the same record at home that they do away. It's not too much of a difference, and I feel like it's mainly because of my favorite thing in fantasy baseball, which is on base percentage. We talk about this all the time. It's like all you have to do is just get on base and let the other guys knock you in. And if you need to take a few pitches and get on base with a walk or a hit by pitch or whatever it is, you make the pitcher work out there. We saw the Dodgers do that with Blake Snell the other day. I think he only lasted 5 innings. He was already up in the 90s by the time the 5th inning started. So the Dodgers are great at that, whether it's at home or away. It doesn't really matter. I think the biggest issue is probably going to be in their away games, the home runs might not be as plentiful that they are in Dodger Stadium. I feel like in Dodger Stadium, the crowd cheering you on, that's going to be motivation in itself, other than other motivations that they have to kind of bring their best forward. And it is a little nerve-wracking also being in your home stadium with the crowd just cheering you on and being so loud that's when errors kind of happen too. You get into your own head. You're like, oh, I can't mess this up, especially not at home. But I do think that the Dodgers home field advantage is going to be in their advantage for one main reason, and that's pitching, because Dodger Stadium has always been known as a pitcher's ballpark. So whatever team they face, they're not going to be easily hitting home runs or doubles or, whatever it may be in like they do in other stadiums. So I think the advantage goes to the Dodgers in there just because their on base percentage in Dodger Stadium is just as good as anywhere else. They've been playing a lot of small ball this season also. We saw Max Muncy have a bunt for a hit, a month and a half ago, something like that. So the Dodgers are in it, man. They know what they have. They know what they have to do this season, and I think they're going to get it done.
Yep. Javi, chime in, man. Just say what you got to say about the Dodgers.
So I'll piggyback off of what Will said. I just think about what they're doing in the second half, and like I was looking at it, I think they're 48-18 in the second half of the season. I look at their road wins. They got 54 road wins. It's like Will said, it's almost identical to their home wins. What I think is what's helping them out is their pitching, because you see they have a lot of injuries. They got their ace out for the season, right? I think Haney landed on the IL again, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I haven't seen any news on it, but I'm pretty sure that the Dodgers will call me and let me know.
So I think like my thing is like Urias, dude, 9-1 in the second half of the season, bro. He's been killing it. Kershaw, he's been lights out. Anderson, Gonsolin, and you wouldn't really think that they have like a playoff caliber pitching rotation. Yeah, if you go into the playoffs, right, you're going in with your top guns. And I mean, who would have thought Gonsolin would have had this kind of season, or Anderson would have had this kind of season? Kershaw was pretty much we're saying he's pretty much at the end of his career, but maybe he's not. He's showing us what he was before. So I think home field, I don't think home field is an advantage. I think they're just playing great baseball overall as a team. I think they can get it done regardless if they're playing at home or away.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that the last time the Dodgers did win home field advantage was 2017, and we already know what we looking to in 2017 to this year. So this year we're not trying to make it a repeat. I know that they won home field advantage, and I know the pitching staff is there. And then one thing that does worry me for sure is the bullpen, because we do not have a closer. We're going to have to spread out the workload with that one. So there is a lot of rookies down there that they can bring up and just have them throw the ninth inning. Yeah, you can do that. Inexperience, yeah, you're going to have that. But every year the Dodgers have won the World Series, they've had some special kink or some special player to show up and do that.
Yo, do you think that they should do that right now where they're like comfortably ahead? Have some of these guys pitch, in the late innings and see what they got. Like, I think it's a great
that's what
idea
they're
for them
doing.
to do,
Yeah, they've been doing that lately.
I think that's what they've been doing this whole
awesome.
week, these whole weeks that they've been already on top, and they're still winning.
Kimbrel's been pitching either in losing situations or when they're tied, and he hasn't impressed yet. So I don't see Dave Roberts trusting him. I think that he's going to be kind of just that guy that if we're winning by a lot, 3 or 4 runs, then maybe he'll come in. Or if they're trying to rest some arms, if we know that, up in the series, in a 5-game series, if we already have 2 wins and we just need to throw an arm out there just in case we lose the game, not to wear out the rest of the bullpen that would actually be there in clutch situations.
But that's why you have Hanser, to do that. You have a specialist to take over the innings, and he has a pretty good
curveball, man. Curveball's insane.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and move on. That was a good topic. I guess a lot of Dodger fans on here, and we're Dodger fans, even though I'm wearing a different hat. I just like to wear different baseball hats because I'm a baseball fan. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Chasing 62. Aaron Judge. He hasn't hit it yet. He's been stuck at 61. What do you guys think about him?
He just hit 61 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So he was stuck at 60 for a little while, but he has enough time. He's going to get it done, especially in Yankee Stadium against the Baltimore Orioles, who the Yankees are great against.
Yeah.
He's hitting in a little league ballpark against maybe a 2 good pitchers on the Orioles pitching staff. But other than that, the thing that's been carrying the Orioles this whole season has been their hitting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their hitting hasn't been on there, but they got a little spark in the second half, and they kind of made like a little playoff push. But Aaron Judge hitting 62 for me is more of a Yankee record than a baseball record. It's more of like an American League record instead of being a whole baseball record for me. And everybody can have their own opinion, but for me, the big time home run hitter is Barry Bonds, and he's always going to be the great time hitter. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. There's something called the modern era. There's something called the golden era of baseball. Mm-hmm. For those that don't know, golden era is before the modern rules that we have now, the number of games that professionals play, the number of teams that play, different playoff rules, all that. And old baseball is very different from new baseball. Same kind of base, but there's very specific rules that have been changed over the years to try to make the sport better. So let's say, for example, back in the 1800s, let's say they played 250 games. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a lot more than what they play now.
Yeah.
And someone hit the record for home runs. Let's say someone hit 80 home runs, Yeah. So does that mean that record stands for all of time? That is the home run record, even though they had almost 100 games more for possibilities of home runs?
I think so. I mean, the game has changed a lot to where, remember, we talked about it last week, where they changed a lot of rules. And I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but they changed the rules of popping the catcher or taking out the second baseman for a double play. So because the game is changing to a more weaker and more like for lack of words, wussy sport. Like I said, lack of words. It's just, I just think that it counts. It counts. And we don't know back then like how many games they actually played, because they wouldn't travel on plane, they would travel on the bus, and they would go to city, and I think it was only on the East Coast that they were doing this. The West Coast wasn't even thought about back then yet for baseball. So I think it counts as the season goes on. Like when we get older, I'm pretty sure they're only going to play 62 games because they're going to be too tired to be playing baseball. They're going to be too tired to say, oh, you know what? I swung the bat super hard yesterday. I don't want to play today. You know, it's going to get to that point.
Every time that a record's broken, they always add in the modern era, right? There is a starting point from when the modern era started up until now.
Yeah.
But there's also a different era that has been brought up before that people don't talk about, and that is the steroid era.
No, we talked about it a lot.
Yes, but no one differentiates the type of stats that were going on in that time compared to any other era, right?
You know why, though? You can't do that because you're going to have people, or you're going to have a lot of people say, no, that doesn't count because he was on steroids. That's unfair. And to be honest, it was great for baseball, and baseball really knows that. MLB knows that.
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is, yes, it was great for baseball, but the point is that there was something different about that era that doesn't happen now and didn't happen 20 years before that. There was a block of time from, you know, basically like when the Rocky 3 came out. Was it Rocky 3 or Rocky 4 when he fought the Russian? You know, around that time.
No, that's Rocky 4, man.
Rocky 4. So
hey, know your Rockies.
Oh my God. I do live in Philadelphia. I should know.
Know your Rockies. You live in Philadelphia.
Come on, bro. Come on, man.
Hey, where's my man?
When that movie came out and all the 90s baseball was going on with these home run races, if those players that were in their prime at that time, if they were not juicing, they would not hit that many home runs. That is guaranteed. That's 100% guaranteed. There's no way Barry Bonds would have hit 74 home runs in one season if he wasn't juicing.
Hold on. So you're saying that steroids gives you the ability to catch up to a fastball?
Not necessarily, but something that could have been a double or caught by an outfielder goes 15 feet farther and then it ends up being a home run instead.
But he was not the only one juicing. Everybody was juicing. So that was unfair of someone that was not juicing compared to someone that was.
Yeah, so, it was very unfair.
Exactly. So let's just put it out there. Let's just say all three of us right here, we were like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. And my career's in jeopardy if I don't do it. Right. So let's say you guys have 40 home runs and I was a home run king last year and I hit 35 home runs. Now, am I going to feel like, dang, man, I can't let that happen. I got a Nike contract. I got a Reebok contract. I got to do something. Don't you think all that pressure will come to you? Hell yeah, it will. So all these baseball players that were on steroids in that era, like they know for sure that they were on. Like there was not one single player on that roster that would say I wasn't on it for a week, or maybe I was just on it for like I don't know. I got on it for a little bit and it helped me a little bit, and I just realized like I don't really need it because I'm just not gonna perform any better. But there's these players that come out and say, no, I never did it. Like Rafael Palmeiro, he was one of them. I don't know if you guys remember him. He came up to Congress or to the Senate. He said, I never did steroids. And guess what? 2 weeks later, they popped him. He was positive. He was positive. So I'm just saying, as the game develops and goes into what we're having now, which is a wussy sport compared to back then. Back then, they traveled and they couldn't complain. They had a 9-game series against the same team because they couldn't afford to travel more times during the week, you know, or during the month. So, yeah, of course, there was more games. There was no planes for you guys for them to travel to these places. As it keeps going and we go into like the 30s, 40s, 50s, you start changing the game up. You start saying, okay, how can we improve this game? You're right. When you get to the steroid era, which is the 80s and 90s, no one talked about the steroids in the 80s. No one talked about the cocaine in the 80s. Why? Because it was doing good for the sport. But when they were doing cocaine, guess what? They were feeling like superhumans too. You know, like I've never done cocaine, but the people that have done it and have like told me that they've done it, they feel superhuman. They start drinking. Am I right? Exactly. So then you get into the 90s and you do steroids. It's not going to make you catch up to the ball.
Let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you consider, when that whole home run race was going on, do you consider those guys the legitimate home run breakers for 61? Do you consider that like a real thing? Because they did it. You know what I mean?
I looked up to these guys when I was a kid.
I mean, we all did. We all did. But what I'm saying is, okay, when this race was going on, right? Remember, was it McGuire and Sosa? Remember that, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody was watching. And then you hear that they might have been fucking juicing up. And then what does that do to somebody that looked up to these guys? You're like, oh, so it wasn't real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's why, like, I see what you're saying about Judge and how his home run race right now is an American League thing, but he's doing legit, as far as we know, right? He's doing it legit. You know what I mean? So I think, to me, it's a bigger deal if he breaks the record than knowing someone knowingly did what they did and broke that record. My opinion, obviously.
No, that's good, and that's valid, and that's why we're here.
And it sucks because, dude, when that race was going on, I was all over the fucking TV. Every fucking game that was going on, I was watching these guys fucking hit bombs, and I was like, holy crap, it's like you said, it's great for baseball, man.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, but then they take a shit.
Let me chime in real quick. You know what else was great for baseball and also great for the city of Houston? The Astros winning the World Series in 2017, which they wouldn't have won unless they cheated. And that is exactly the same thing as Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, and Mark McGwire. That none of those guys would have hit that many home runs unless they cheated. And all of us, Dodger fans, baseball fans, all of us in general, have always said that championship should have been taken away from the Astros because they got caught cheating. So all these guys that hit those home runs in those seasons, why aren't we the same ones that are calling out the Astros, calling out these guys and saying those home runs shouldn't have counted because they got caught cheating?
Yeah, and that's I didn't want to go there, but good thing you brought it up, Will. Because I kind of I don't want to remember going back into 2017, but you have a really valid point that why are we not focused on the 2017 cheating scandal, and we're worried about Aaron Judge is going to hit 62 and he should be, as Roger Maris Jr. is saying, that he should be the home run king.
The true one. I heard about that.
And it's like, come on, dude. Like, no. How are you going to erase history? So you're saying those home runs are not valid, but then the World Series is? Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. And I'm not saying he's saying that, but from him saying that he is saying that Barry Bonds, McGwire, Sosa didn't break the record because they were on roids is not valid. And pretty much is saying that, okay, the 2017 piece of metal is not a question. Yeah, the Astros deserve it. Like, no. So there's been a lot of things in baseball, like there's been a lot of things. And this is a great topic because we're actually talking about it and we're digging into it. And I love it because it's just a conversation that a lot of baseball fans wish they could have.
And not only that, a lot of these guys will never get into the Hall of Fame. You see Barry Bonds, he already had his last chance.
That's a punishment.
That's a
punishment. That's a punishment. Because look, and I've said it a lot of times in our podcast, when Barry Bonds used to step up to that freaking plate, I used to be scared that he was going to hit it. Why? Because he was a Giants. And who do we hate the most as Dodger fans? The Giants, the San Francisco Giants, right? So Barry Bonds, what's on there? But you got to respect the man. He wasn't doing steroids to hit the ball. That man had an eye for, come on. He had an eye for that ball, and he can hit it far with steroids or no steroids, whatever it is, but he had an eye on it.
Let me put another thought in your head. Do you remember the beginning of this season when we found out that the doping commission's contract with MLB had expired and they hadn't renewed it yet? So we were like, oh, so there might be a bunch of guys that are going to be juicing this season because there's not going to be any drug testing this season. So let's say that actually happened, and Aaron Judge was one of those guys that took steroids in the beginning of the season. So he'd be at 61. Would he still be at 61 right now if he had been taking steroids all season? There's no way, because he hit a bunch of doubles too. And those doubles wouldn't have been doubles if he was juicing this season. They would have went over for sure, especially because of that stadium that he plays in. Okay, that's another thing that we have to think of too. Aaron Judge plays half of his games in Yankee Stadium. Everyone calls it a Little League ballpark, right? Because of the short fences, and it's just not that far. Look also
me
to kind of like further like prove your point. Barry Bonds did this in San Francisco, playing half of his games in San Francisco with the wind blowing in towards the balls that he hit. So that is an accomplishment in himself, in itself. I'm not taking anything away from Barry Bonds, but I just feel like if you're going to separate the golden era from the modern era, then there's another era in between, that steroid era, that should also be added into the history books.
So what do you want to call it? You want to call it?
I don't know. They can come up with that themselves. You know, man, they say the juiced ball era, right? Let's call it the juiced players era.
Yeah, that's not bad. Let's make it a trend. Hashtag that.
I know.
Dude, this is an interesting topic. We got to go move on. We already gave all of our answers. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them on here. We appreciate it. And if you are listening to us for the first time, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. Let's go into the playoff bracket, and one race that I can think of right now is the Mets and the Braves, and it looks like it's going to go down to the wire. And we talked about this last week. Will, remember you
that's
said,
exciting baseball. Yeah. I love that. Jacob deGrom versus Max Fried today. I want to watch that game so bad.
Wait. Let me finish. Remember you said last week that the Dodgers and Giants went into the series kind of tired because they went all the way to the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
The last game. So this is looking more like that with the Braves and the Mets.
Yeah, it definitely is.
It can flip. So I'm excited to see that series too. How many games are they playing against each other? I think it's just a weekend, and then they have another.
Just a weekend.
Okay, man, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Whoever wins that series is gonna be up.
And then I believe, I'm not sure who the Mets have, but I believe the Braves have the Phillies Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
And the Phillies lost 5 in a row already.
Dude,
man.
they're taking a tie, bro.
They're a half game up on the Brewers. So,
bro, this is a locker room talk over here at my job. Everybody's like, man, the Phillies are taking a dive. I'm like, yup. And I'm over there with my Dodger hat. What's up? We're already in. Where you at?
And since you want to chime in, let me take this off and put a Philly hat, and then let me sneak in. I
had a buddy at work, because I live in Pennsylvania. I had a buddy at work come up to me. And he's like, "So, what's it like being a fan of a winning franchise?"
Oh, man.
He was like kind of like half serious and half kidding. He's like, I really want to know.
They won it back.
It
they
get a little boring at times, you know. But
what year did they win it? 2008.
Yeah, 2008.
2008, right? Yeah.
And that year, it was like an underdog team. They had so many rookies on that team that just overperformed. But then it went on to be great, you know, guys like Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins.
They weren't rookies; they were already vets.
But I mean, those are two guys that were already on the team. But they had other rookies during that season that were really helping out the team. But I think what really pushed the Phillies over the edge in that season was their pitching. Their pitching was just all around so good.
Do you remember Brad Lidge, the closer?
No,
he was a starter for the Astros.
Here we go with
guy
Carlos
came out of nowhere. Exactly, this guy came out of nowhere, and he was a freaking closer for the freaking Phillies, and he was a great one with the Phillies. And then you have Ryan Howard at first, hitting bombs, man. Remember Matt Stairs? Who remembers Matt Stairs? Like this guy.
Wasn't he with the Oakland A's?
I don't remember where he was, but he was there when he hit that bomb against the Elvis looking guy from the Dodgers, man. Broxton, man.
Oh,
I know you guys remember that.
I haven't heard that name in a minute.
Exactly. So, man, I don't even want to bring that up anymore, man. You guys are giving me headaches.
What are you doing with all that knowledge in your head, man?
I don't know. That's why I'm
How
here.
do you remember this stuff?
It's
I don't
living
know.
rent free in his head, bro.
Exactly. It's just like I wake up and I'm like, dang, Broxton gave up that home run. I love baseball, man, and I love talking about it. It's just one of those things for me that just clicks and it stays in there. Dude, another playoff bracket, like we said that the Phillies have been in that losing streak. The Brewers can get in. They're only a half game back. The Padres are 2 games and a half up, even though they lost 2 games against the Dodgers in the series. So it looks like the Padres are going to run away with that 5th spot, but that 6th spot looks like it's going up for grabs. Do you guys think that the Phillies have a harder schedule compared to the Brewers? I mean, what do you think, Javi? You have that locker room talk, you said.
Who I don't know who the Brewers are playing.
I think they have an easier schedule than the Phillies for sure, because I think they have the Pirates, I want to say. And I mean,
if that's the case, man, I don't see how the way the Phillies are playing, I don't see how they can make up for it, honestly. I think the Brewers, I mean, I think they've been a little bit hotter than the Phillies recently.
The Brewers have Miami.
They have Miami. Arizona, sorry. And then who does the Phillies have?
The Phillies have Washington and then Houston.
Oh, yeah.
So they actually faced Atlanta last week. So let's see. Because that's going to be
tough.
interesting too.
That's tough.
That's tough.
They got the team. They got the team to do it, right? They got the team to do it.
They got your boy. They got your boy Bryce Harper. The Harper.
Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper.
Only fantasy relevant.
But that's your boy, man.
The Braves and the Mets actually have a very easy schedule after their current. Oh well, I mean it's only one more series after that. So the Braves are at Miami, and then the Mets are versus Washington. Both weak teams, so both of them could easily just pull it off.
Yeah, and who do you? Let's go there. Who do you guys pick? I already gave my pick last week, and I'm sticking to it. The Braves.
I'm going with the Braves.
Oh, against the Mets?
Yeah.
To win the division.
To win the division.
The Braves.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay, so the only reason I'm saying the Braves is because everybody was worried at the beginning of the season how shitty they started, right? They started like trash. We were like, yo, these guys were, in the playoffs last year, and look what they're doing now. And everybody pretty much kind of was like, that's a wrap. It was just a fluke.
Yeah.
Shit, here they come, and they're right there, right? A couple games away from winning the damn division. So
the World Series hangover is real, man.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. But a lot of people, they're expecting greatness from the start. And when you don't get that, people start doubting the team. Like, hey, what's going on? They were there. What happened? And the fact that they're where they're at, as opposed to where they were at the beginning of the season, that's big. That's huge. So I'm going with the hot team. I'm going with the hot team.
And Javi, you
not
said
saying the Mets aren't hot, but
you said an important stat earlier about the Dodgers having a better record on the second half. The Braves have they're only 2 games behind the Dodgers in that record, in that respect. And I said that the Mets
in the second half.
In the second half, yeah.
Yes.
And the Mets, I told you, Will, last week that the Mets, I feel like they're like the Giants of last year. They only riding that where they're feeling comfortable and they're playing good baseball. Don't get me wrong that they're not. They're playing good baseball. It's just I feel like they're like the Giants. They're not going to make it that far. And then plus this the way that it's looking, where they're going to face the Padres. If we're picking the Braves to win the division, they fall on the Dodgers bracket. So that's going to be some interesting baseball. Even if, whoever it is, whoever the Padres face, it's going to be pretty tough. And it's going to be good baseball, period. So, I mean, did we talk about the AL? It's pretty much set, right? There's all of those teams that are fighting for that spot. It's just they're like 2-3 games away from clinching their spot on the wild card, right?
Yeah, I think the wild cards are pretty set.
Yeah.
The seeds might change, but the teams aren't changing.
They're not.
Tampa Bay,
There's
Seattle,
2 or 3
and
teams
Blue Jays,
that
right?
are pretty close when it comes to like record wise, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that the teams that are already like set in there are pretty locked in.
Yep. All right. Well,
and
that's
by the
play.
way,
Yeah, go for it.
If the Dodgers win today or the Houston Astros lose today, that's how we find out if the Dodgers get the home field advantage for the World Series.
No, they already got it.
Are you sure about that? Because
Yeah.
I saw something this morning.
No, that's fake news. They already got it. They're
fake news.
They're 6 games above the Astros, so that's it. They already clinched the home field advantage. Like throughout doesn't it means all the way to the World Series. But that's the playoff bracket. We talked about it last week. We talked about it this week, and pretty much we're going to talk about it next week when playoffs start, because that's exciting baseball. Let's go ahead into the Will segment on fantasy baseball here. Let's this is a championship week. If you're out there and you're still playing baseball, it's kind of, do a lot of people go into the final week, Will? I don't know.
There's a lot of leagues that go into the final week of the regular season.
That's pretty
Personally,
tough, isn't it?
I don't like to, and I've said before, it's because a lot of teams like to rest their players in the last couple weeks of the season.
Yeah.
So a lot of those big name players, like if you have any Dodgers players such as Mookie Betts or Trey Turner, they're going to get that extra day off once in a while. The Houston Astros, same thing. You know, they clinched the division a while ago. So guys like Altuve and who else is like, Bregman, I guess, because Bregman's been doing really good lately. He wasn't doing very good in the beginning of the season, but now that he's kind of like, you know, gotten back into it, came back from injury, he's been doing pretty good lately. But these guys are going to get random days off in the last couple of weeks of the season. So, you know, in my head as a commissioner, I like to end the season a little bit early so that way you don't miss out on the baseball that these guys are going to play.
Hey, can you give out the name of who won the championship in our league? Even though we don't want to hear it, we got to hear it.
I think all of us except for Tony made the playoffs. So congratulations to us 3.
Tony
Hobby finished number 1 in the league in the regular season. I finished number 2. Carlos squeaked in at number 6.
Bro, it was supposed to be
even
me and you,
man. He was number 3 all season long. And I'm like, look at that record.
I was number 3, yeah. Oh, well, it happens.
Hey,
I'm not joking.
Hey, quick update. They went back to back on DeGrom, bro.
DeGrom?
Did they?
Olsen and Riley.
Oh, I saw that. It was solo shots though, right?
Damn.
Solo shots, right? So it's they're up 2-1 right now, I think.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
That's a good one, man.
What's the score?
2-1.
2-1. 2-1. Okay. Then yeah. Anything else you want to add for the fantasy baseball before we move
fantasy baseball? Yeah, I mean, there's a guy that's been in the league since I started this league, since I started commissioning this league, and it was never called Real Talk Baseball Fantasy League in the past, just because Real Talk Baseball has only been around for 3 seasons now. I did change the name a few seasons ago when we started this, this podcast. But before that, I called it Kershaw Shank Redemption. That was the league that I created years ago. And one guy that's been there since the beginning. There's actually a few. Tony, shut it.
Where you at, Tony? Where you at?
It's my buddy that I used to play slow pitch softball with. We call him Jefe, and that's Jeff. I don't want to say his last name, on here, just because a lot of weirdos out there. But
or copyrights, or
Lori, if you're watching, also, just congratulations to you guys. I'm happy for you, man. I'm glad that you won the league.
Wait. Are you really happy?
By the rookie. I am.
Oh, okay.
He's a good buddy of mine. He was my first baseman on my softball team that I had also since the beginning. He's been a buddy of mine for probably a little less than 10 years or so.
Wait. You're looking a little kind of sour over there, though.
Nah.
I'm just trying to stir something up.
I have never not made the playoffs in fantasy baseball and also fantasy football, by the way. And
I'm right there. Yep.
I am extremely proud of myself for that. Even the first season when I didn't know anything about any players other than the Dodgers, I still made it to the playoffs just because I pay attention. You know, I listen to other podcasts and I look on the waiver wire. I look at most added. I look at, you know, I've gotten better over the years at looking at stats, and I'm the fantasy baseball guru. I mean, what can I say?
Damn. Wait.
Yeah, come on, man.
I'm falling asleep over here. My bad.
Come on, man.
Nah, I'll give you one of these now. Dude, man, they changed my name to Owen, man. I'm 0-3 in fantasy base. I'm feeling like the Raiders right now, dude. Like,
have you ever won?
3. Yeah, I've won.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah. These guys are no jokes that I'm playing with right now, so it's like, oh my god. But
I know Javi's won, right? Javi won at least once.
I think in the league that me and Carlos were running. Hey, are we doing that next season? You down?
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
All right.
I don't know. We'll talk about it off air.
That's another thing that we have to talk about. We have to talk about the rule changes for next season for our league. But we need to get Tony on also, so that way we can all talk about it at the same time. If we're going to go forward and make this a keeper league, we need to decide a lot of things.
You guys know what you guys need to use on the hook to get them on the text, right?
Trade.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Boom. Just got to wheel them in.
Trade Cooper Cup.
Bring them in. Bring them in. Yeah.
Hey, that's my guy right there.
Give him Stephon Diggs.
Right here.
All right, guys. That segment's done. Let's move on to the Alnl Mvp race, and we do have a few players that, man, I'm just happy for this one. Let's start with the NL and Javi. Like, who do you pick for the NL MVP?
My pick is Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt. Dan. All 3 strikes, man. I pick Goldschmidt too, dude.
Wow.
Yeah,
bro.
I do.
You know what did it in for me, man? With Goldschmidt, because he's kind of fallen off towards the end now.
Yes.
It's his stolen bases for the season. You know, he hasn't stolen bases in a long time, and all of a sudden this year he just wants to run.
Dude,
and he's been healthy.
Let's be real. Who would have thought that he was going to have another season like this?
Nobody.
He's getting older.
That's what I'm saying.
The way he's playing, he's a legit first-round pick this season.
Yep.
You know what did it for me?
That's impressive, dude. That's impressive.
Yeah. What did it for me, and you said it right now, Javi, he in Arizona, he's been putting up those numbers since he was in Arizona. He's been doing all those little things except for stealing bases. So now he's probably like, fuck it. I need to steal bases so I can be the MVP. Because they've been they've been skipping them every year.
He also hasn't batted over 300 in a few seasons.
Yep. He dies towards the end, but during the season, he's MVP caliber, man. He has the numbers. Just because the batting average drops doesn't mean his RBIs do and his home runs do. His production is still there. And this year, it's his production is still there with the Cardinals. I mean, you have 2 MVP candidates there. Don't forget Nolan Arenado. You said earlier, Will, that he's on it as well. But this man is he's owed an MVP, man. And I'm glad we all picked him because I think he is an MVP. Another man that pops up in my head, and I would say, and only because he's a Padre. Did I get a reaction? No reaction? Okay. Machado, man. Machado has been carrying the Padres, and if you don't agree with me, I don't know what kind of baseball you're watching.
He is the Padres,
he has been carried. He has been carrying the Padres on his shoulders all season long. Tatis hasn't played all season and will not play until.
Don't you hate it? We had him, and he couldn't do this shit with the Dodgers, man. I fucking hate that shit so much.
But they only had him for a certain point.
I know, but you know what I mean, right? Like sometimes we get these players, they come and play for us, and then they go to another team, and they're like all-stars. Like,
but Machado didn't play like that his first season with the Padres. It took him a little while to kind of get back in the swing of things. Now he's that leader in the clubhouse. It's all about him now. He doesn't have anyone else. Like Goldschmidt has Arenado has Goldschmidt. On the Dodgers, it's like Mookie has Freeman and Freeman has Mookie. But right now,
don't forget Trey Turner.
and Trey Turner, but he's probably leaving after the
3.
season, so I didn't count him
don't
in.
Say that. Don't say
Hey, wait, what?
Don't say that.
What'd you say? Don't throw bad juju. You better not.
Yeah,
bro.
Come on, man.
Nah, we need that shortstop.
But my point is,
no. What's your point? No, don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. We got the big 3. We got the big 3. That's what we got.
Machado doesn't have anyone else. He doesn't have Tatis this season. You know, it could have been Tatis and Machado, Arenado and Goldschmidt, and Mookie Betts, Trey Turner, and Freddie Freeman. All right, you happy now?
Yes.
So we got the trifecta in LA for 2022.
Don't talk about 2023 yet. We're not there yet.
No.
Come on, man. You know, I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
No, you're superstitious. You're superstitious.
Yeah, I'm superstitious, like super duper stitious, man. Damn, I said it right. All right, cool. All right, so we all pick Goldschmidt and second runner up. Do you guys agree with Machado?
No.
Who do you got?
No. Second, I
got
Freeman.
Who was your like?
Second, I got Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman. Yeah, he is leading an average.
You know what really did it for me? He has not had a single cold streak all season. He has been so consistent since the very beginning.
Better knock on wood.
There are so many guys that go to a new team. Look at Lindor. Look at there's too many. But let's focus on Lindor for a second. But okay, Arenado too. You know, when a lot of guys go to a different team, they were super hot on their team before, and then now with their new team, it's too uncomfortable for them. Freddie Freeman, for some reason, I guess because he's an LA boy, he's from LA, so he felt comfortable because this is the team that he rooted for growing up. You know, maybe that could be why. Same thing with Joe Musgrove. He goes from the Pirates to the Padres, and all of a sudden becomes an all-star.
He has a coffee shop and everything.
Does he?
One of my cousins told me that he's a loco and he likes to be around the neighborhood and stuff like that. That's pretty cool, I think. And when you're a baseball player or whatever, a professional athlete, and you go back to your own hometown and you show the people love, you know, that's pretty dope. Like and Musgrove is doing that out there in Padres. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just felt like that's a pretty interesting story in itself. All right, let's go into the AL, dude. The AL is pretty. There's two players.
This one's tougher.
Did you think so?
Tougher.
All right.
No, I don't.
All right, I want to start with you, Will.
I'm going Aaron Judge.
Javi.
Told you it wasn't hard. I'm going Aaron Judge.
It is hard. It is hard because
I guess you can make a case for Ohtani.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
But see, sometimes I feel like the MVP race is they look at what your team is doing as well. That's how sometimes. Yeah, sometimes
this is not most valuable team player.
No, I know, but the way
I'm gonna fight you on that, Javi. Finish.
The direction that the team is going sometimes sways the voters. That's how I've seen it sometimes that it happens. But I'm not basing my vote on that. I'm just basing on pure skill and what he's freaking doing. Because I remember, I think it was with Will, you were talking to me about you making a trade in your keeper league and you gave up Judge for Witt, right?
Witt and
somebody else.
Yeah, a couple others.
And we were talking about how we don't think that Judge is going to keep going and he's going to carry that, that streak that he's on. And dude, he's pretty much blown all that shit out the water. The guy's been on fire. He's hitting for average. He's hitting for home runs. He's hitting for RBIs. It's like, dude, the guy didn't slow down. He kept going. And
dude,
Javi,
didn't mean to cut you off. Don't mean to cut you off, but we have a question from Rich Ando. What's up, guys? How far do you think the beloved Dodgers are gonna go this year? All the way, baby.
World Series or bust, baby. World Series or bust.
That's a
all
wrap.
The way, man. We're all Dodger fans here. I know I'm wearing a Sox hat, but I like to wear different baseball except the San Francisco Giants hat. As you can see, I have a toilet seat with the Giants sign on it, meaning that's what I think about them. But I think the Dodgers are going all the way, and I don't say it every year, right?
We ain't biased, bro. We ain't biased.
What you mean?
You know, I mean, let's call it for what it is. The team is hot.
Hey, that's a great question, though. That's a really good question.
Let's just hope that they carry this momentum all the way throughout the playoffs. You know, because sometimes teams will get hot, and then as soon as the playoffs come, it's a different ball game, right? Everybody's
you know what though? I think that every team in the postseason has to have that dark horse, and our dark horse is starting to come around, and that's Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger has changed up his swing. I texted you guys. Like,
I saw that.
I saw that, but I don't see it on there.
You got to watch his at bats lately, man. He's not trying to hit moonshots anymore. This guy is just
the term you used.
Level swing.
Level swing. Because we're always talking about his uppercut swing, right?
Yeah, that uppercut, it just sucks now, man. But the swing that he has now, it's so pretty now, you know?
What? Pretty?
Yes. The swing that he's had for the past, like, let's say, like, at least, like, 2 weeks, you know? I feel like this tweak that he did to his swing, it's going to help him tremendously. He's not trying to hit those home runs like he was before. 250 batting average with 35 home runs. You know, that's great and all. But honestly, if this guy can just put wood on the ball and just make it go somewhere, he's batting ninth, you know? So if someone's on base, if he can get lucky with a base hit to right field or go oppo, or, you know, maybe he's taking a page out of Freddie Freeman's book.
It just
because Freddie Freeman just has that
extra weapon, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And batting in the ninth hole, or maybe moving him a little bit up if he's, you know, continues to progress. I know you don't like that, Carlos.
Keep him there. No, keep him there because I think for me, I don't see his batting changing at all. His batting stance might have changed, his swing might have changed, but he's not making any contact, and that's what you need to do. But his fielding, for me, and that's why they have him on that lineup, is just I've never seen Bellinger take a bad route to a ball. I haven't seen it this year. He's a gold glover in my book, and I'll give it to him. But when it comes to batting, if he did
not have that gold glove, he would have been sent down to AAA.
He would have been already released. And I'm not trying to be a hater, but it's the truth, dude. It's the truth. I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here, man, and it's a little bit of football right here. So, yeah, man. You're Javi. You want to take this? I mean, we can change. We can change his name to Owen. My name is Owen too, like Owen 3. You know, I mean, I had to do it. My bad, dude.
Oh man, that's funny, dude.
It's all fun and games, but yeah, football, man. I'm 0-3 in my fantasy, so it sucks. It sucks. Let's go in here, man. We have another question. So keeping the bottom of the lineup, moving him up in the order would probably diminish his value. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, a lot of people are like, you know, are like that. Hey, he just said it's cold-blooded. Hey, man, we gotta take it. We gotta take it. We get it.
It's called real talk, right? Real talk.
Hey, man, thanks for posting all these questions, man. That's what makes our show a lot more funner, dude. Dude. So we already all agreed on no, you guys agreed on Judge, and I agreed on Ohtani.
You said Ohtani.
Yeah, I said Ohtani because he's going to win it until he retires. In my book,
see, and that's the thing is
he's a pitcher and a freaking hitter.
Yeah, that's nothing to me. If he's a pitcher and a hitter, no. What's a big deal to me is he just hit 200 strikeouts as a pitcher with an ERA under 3.
Exactly.
That's a big deal. It doesn't matter if he's a pitcher and a hitter.
It does.
Mike Lorenzen did that too. So dude, what? He wasn't very good at either one of them.
Wait.
But when it comes to Ohtani, that is elite in both of those. That's the biggest thing. Ohtani steals bases. He hits home runs. He scores a lot of runs. He doesn't really get as many RBIs as he should because the Angels suck. And he also pitches once a week. He only pitches once a week, and he hit 200 strikeouts.
Yeah,
you know?
That's crazy.
That's amazing,
crazy, bro.
He's in the Cy Young contention for American League.
No. This man is doing things I used to do in Little League. This man is doing it in the MLB, dude. In the MLB.
Yeah.
This man is being freaking
bro. Like he's a video game.
Okay,
video game, bro.
Little Tyler's over there hitting bombs and pitching every game because he can, and he's throwing 90 miles per hour on the Little League, throwing no hitters left and right. This man is doing that in the major league level. We should be celebrating this.
Rebuttal. Every single time that you give your MVP pick, you always tell me that I'm not going to pick this guy because his team sucks and they didn't make it to the postseason. MVP's team has to make it to the postseason.
Exactly.
Why are you picking Ohtani if his team didn't make it to the postseason?
Why? Because MLB disappointed me the year that Matt Kemp lost that freaking MVP award to what was his name? Braun or something.
Mr. Steroid?
Mr. Steroid. Exactly. So that disappointed me a lot. Why? Because the Brewers didn't make the playoffs, but he still won MVP. So yeah, I don't agree with that analogy. I don't agree that the MVP should be on the losing team, but this man is just freaking tearing up the league, pitching and hitting, dude. Like, come on, man. This is the Babe Ruth of our modern era. And you just said modern era compared to the right. So
that's a great point.
I'm not taking anything away. Point. I'm not taking anything away from Aaron Judge. He's having his career year. He could be the triple crowner. We don't get to see that a lot.
We don't get to see that a lot.
But
he gonna get paid.
If Aaron Judge could pitch, don't you think that'll be a more valid point for him to win the MVP? No questions asked.
Aaron Judge plays the field. Ohtani does not.
He's not a Gold Glove though, is he?
I wouldn't consider him a Gold Glove, but he can steal some home runs just by standing on his tippy toes.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Braun.
See, there you go. I'm not the only one. See, exactly. There you go. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm picking Ohtani because of that, and it's just amazing to see him pitch and hit.
That's
home runs.
You make a very valid point on all.
And that's what we're doing here. We're just trying to. We're just trying to like.
It's like once in a generation type of player that you're gonna see. You're not gonna see another fucking Ohtani in the next I don't know how many fucking years. It's crazy, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, we can.
Like, what are you gonna do?
In right field. Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Amazing, man. And I think and I honestly think it's gonna go down to the Rays. Yeah, Aaron Judge has more to lose than Ohtani because he is going into the playoffs. He is playing for something. And Ohtani isn't. Look, but Ohtani is playing for greatness too.
Ohtani's got to be a Dodger.
Yeah, maybe. This is another thing also that I want to add about Aaron Judge is that he is about to, well, possibly, but probably going to break a world record, when it comes to Major League Baseball. And Ohtani's not going to do that in either pitching or hitting categories. Look at this guy. He fixed his teeth, by the way. You need a new big head.
Well, that's why I got it for for $3 or something like that?
Because they didn't fix his teeth yet.
That's messed up. You over there checking his teeth out?
Hey, is that your Halloween?
Hey, it's kind of obvious, man. There used to be a Bruick being able to drive through his front teeth right there. Now it's like it's perfect.
That's messed up, dude. I don't know, dude. I got this for $3. Why not? I have it here at home. I got it there. And if he's going to be the triple crowner and the MVP, I came up. I could sell it probably for
that's another thing too. He's going to hit the triple crown, right?
Crown. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. That's
a huge thing. And I'm not taking that away from him. It's just, and yeah, Will, you hit it on the nail with that one. That I always say that MVP shouldn't be on the contending team. But yeah, man, like I think I make a valid point when Matt Kemp didn't win, and it sucks. It sucks.
We all hate that. We all hate that.
Yeah. Carlos, what's up with a hat?
Robbery.
I'm just wearing the White Sox hat because I'm wearing kind of like a white shirt, and I'm just kind of putting it out there. I know he hasn't been on in a while, and we have a friend that's a White Sox fan, and I just wore it because I feel like the White Sox could have done a lot better this year. They have a great team, and they didn't do anything. It's just to me, it sucked.
They were picked to win their division.
Yeah, they should. Yeah. They should have. And yeah, I'll wear the Dodger hat once the playoffs start. I don't know no Houston hat. I don't know no San Francisco Giant hat. Don't worry about it. I don't wear I do own a Yankee hat, but I wouldn't wear that yet on the playoffs.
I still want to get the Astros hat with the trash can on it.
Oh, I was about to say, no way. You want to ask? I haven't seen you wear the shirt though. You need to wear the shirt. I think that would be cool if you wear the shirt.
Yeah. Now that I got my camera that's a little bit farther away, you guys can actually see my shirt now.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yep. Who wants to read this, man? Who wants to read the question?
Can we talk about how fire Edwin Diaz's entrance is, if you haven't already? What's the guy's name? Timmy Trumpet? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Timmy Trumpet. I think that's his name.
Yep.
That dude's getting big time famous right now.
No, but what about the intro? It's like they practiced it.
Yeah,
I think they practiced. Oh man, they're like, hey man, we got practice for your intro song. You better get here at what time we play at 7? Get here at 2:45. 2:45. If you're not here, you're gonna get a fine $500.
All of a sudden, entrances are a big fucking thing now, dude.
Baseball's becoming a show. It's a show.
That's how it should be.
It's like WWE, bro.
Like, hey, but wait. Have you guys seen Jerry? What's his name? Jerry Bust. This dude made the Lakers the show. You know, he had the Laker girls. He was like, man, I need to see something else besides the sport.
Yeah,
that man was a genius. He was an innovator.
So then, homie.
That's what they're doing with every sport. It's taking this long to get there. If it's not already there, right? But it's taking this long. And that entrance is pretty fire, dude. I think it's dope, man. And it's great for baseball. Like everybody stands up.
It's great for baseball. It's great for Mets fans. It's just another aspect of keeping the game fun. You know, I feel like there's so many players that could keep this game fun. You know, Tim Anderson is one of those guys. Like, let's see some bigger bat flips or a different type of bat flips. You know, I haven't really seen too many like big celebrations this season. You know, and I think that's what's missing from baseball. Whether they're afraid to get hit from a hit by pitch or, you know, whatever the case may be, I think these guys needs to be excited about, you know, things that are going on. Like, how many times has Mookie Betts hit a home run and then you just see him jogging around the bases and high five everyone, but there's no excitement there? You know, we need to see excitement every time these guys hit a home run, because a home run is not easy to do facing these major league pitchers, and these guys that can hit 35 of them. Shit's crazy, dude.
Yeah, there's just a lot of people respect the game differently. I feel like I'm old-fashioned. So I'll probably won't bat flip, but I'll get excited. But for sure, when they play that song, if the Dodgers play the Mets and they play that song, I'm going to be like, I hate that song. You know, stop playing it. Just like when the Braves do the tomahawk and it's just like, you know, it keeps going and you're like, stop already. Like, you know, during the season, you're all right. But when you're playing them in the playoffs, it's just a different feeling. And you're like, nah, I don't want to hear that. Like, take that off. That song sucks.
Well, yeah, but any type of emotion, strong emotion, is good in sports. Yeah. You want people to have emotions. You want people to get pissed off, but you want them to also enjoy themselves and get excited and all types of emotions, man. I have a fire under me when something goes on in – not a literal. When something goes on in the playoffs, like tie game, you know, top of the ninth, and all we need to do is just hold the opposition, and then in comes Kenley Jansen, and then gives up a 2-run home run. You know, I get so hot and so red and mad, and I feel like those are the times in the past that I remember the most. You know. There's so many there's so many good times, but then there's so many bad times, and those are the times that we are going to remember forever. You know, are you guys ever going to forget about the times you've gotten pissed off during the World Series? I remember, I think the most heated I ever got during the World Series is when there was a throw from right field to Chris Taylor, and then Chris Taylor tried to throw it to the catcher. I think it was.
Oh, you're talking about the 2020 World Series?
Yes.
That was the play where Kenley Jensen gave up that bloop single, and then Taylor threw the ball. Yeah, I remember. They said it was Mookie Betts, and it was Taylor, dude. It wasn't Mookie Betts. It was Taylor. Taylor
and right?
Yeah.
So then who was it in the infield that was getting the ball? Come on, Encyclopedia. You know this.
What I remember, it was Taylor bobbled the ball. and then he caught it and he threw it and he missed his cutoff. Or wasn't yeah, right? And then and they went all the way home and they still got it. And then Will Smith was like,
and that's when Arozarena had tripped on his way from third base to
circus play all around. Circus play all around.
That was supposed to, I think that was game 4. That was supposed to be the end of the World Series. That was going to be our third
Austin
win.
Barnes, you're right.
I think it was Austin Barnes.
8-7.
Yeah, it was game 5. It was game 5. No, was it game 5?
No,
game 4. It was game 4.
Game 4. It was game 4.
Because then game 5 came. Yeah, it was game 4. And I remember like just going to sleep like, are you serious? The pandemic World Series? Yeah, it's happening. It's happening again. Man, it sucks. It sucks. You know what? I can relate to that, Will. The game that I didn't see because I wasn't mad. I was just more disappointed. Was Game 7 of the World Series in 2017 when they scored those 3 runs in the first inning and then they scored 2 more in the second. I was that's it. McCullers is gonna dominate this game and we're done. And I was disappointed because I felt that the Dodgers had a way better team than the Astros.
Oh yeah,
and you know, forget the cheating, forget all that. When it got to that point, it was just like, man. It would have been great to win the World Series.
Yeah,
yeah, and it was a great World Series. You can't take that. You can't take that away from it. It was a great World Series. It was one of the best World Series I've seen in years because they were fighting back and forth, and it wasn't like any.
Wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't it be great to get some fucking revenge this year?
Hell yes,
bro.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be Dodgers and Astros World Series this year.
That's what you want,
bro.
That's what I want. That's what I think it's going to be.
I'm scared. I don't want that.
I think that's what it should be, honestly.
Like and if we lose again, what's going to happen?
Bro, we need closure. We need closure, man.
Yeah.
We
need closure and we need a closer.
So, wait. So if we lose, it's a legit World Series. We're gonna say that's it. We're done.
Nah, we're still gonna say fuck those guys, man.
Well, you're saying it's a closure. Oh man, I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. I don't want to see the Astros or the trash throws or the trash bins, whatever we want to call them, the asterisks, whatever.
But honestly,
I do want to see it, but I don't.
Isn't it gonna give you that sense of like, yeah, we fucking owned you guys. We should have won that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like, we need closure. Like, I don't know. It is scary because they got
it's scary, dude.
They got a squad, but you know what? So do we.
You know how
bro, we own the NL, bro. We own the NL. Everybody has to go through us. Period.
That's true. That's true. You know what's scary? You know what's crazy? I'm over here saying that the Dodgers are going to win the World Series, and I'm scared of the trash throws. That makes no sense at all.
Those are all the emotions that you go through when shit like this goes, and it's about to happen in what is it, next week? We start next week, right? Playoffs
next week. Yeah. You know, who's ready for playoff baseball?
Ooh,
I am.
Man.
I know.
I'll be all over the fucking TV, bro.
You know what's dope? I didn't even know this, but I just realized that my mom's coming to visit in November. I didn't even think about
good night,
this
man.
until...
Good night.
Good night, Richard. Love you, man. That's my boy.
You're my boy, Blue.
You're my boy. Even though you're wearing red, it's all right though. So I forgot what I was saying.
You said your mom is coming.
You discombobulated me. Oh yeah, my mom's coming to visit, and she's gonna get here actually on November 1st or 2nd, and she's staying through the 13th. And I have that whole week and a half off from work, so I'm gonna be able to watch the whole World Series with my mom. That's dope, dude.
That's dope.
My mom is the original Dodgers fan in the family, you know.
Nice.
And the reason why I'm a Dodgers fan is because of my mom. And to be able to watch the World Series, you know, knock on wood, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself, thinking that the Dodgers are already going to make it to the World Series. But, you know, if everything goes good and goes according to my plan, you know,
you'll be celebrating with your mom.
Exactly. You know, that's going to be a great feeling to have another Dodger fan in the house that I can celebrate with and be pissed off with when things don't go our way. You live far, man. You're like an hour and 15 minutes away.
It's not that far.
If you have a pacemaker, make sure you check it. And make sure you have your double A batteries on, because you got to make sure that.
No, they're D's.
That's what she said. Anyway.
I hope so.
We reached the point of the show that we've wait, I think we have another question before I go. Whoa, man. Okay. Well, Philip, how's it going, dude? Do you have any more questions? Man. Go ahead. We're here. We had Aaron Judge on the show, and he's just trying to creep on to the show again, dude. And this is like, man, get out of here, dude. Anyway,
over there, you don't even know.
I don't know. He's over there. Just what's he doing back there? Anyway, what movie is that, man? What movie is that?
Come on, man.
What movie is that?
No, Will.
I didn't even see what was going on. I was laughing at Wow Man.
Bro.
Wedding Crashers.
It's Wedding Crashers, homie.
Just living the dream.
Hey, they're making a part 2.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah,
that's dope. That's dope.
Hey, you guys know what just came out today?
What?
Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh man, you're gonna stay up all night to
I just
watch
watched it with the kids.
You know it.
I just watched it with the kids.
Did you?
Nice.
Yeah, my kid's waiting upstairs for me. We're gonna watch it together tonight. I already got like a bunch of snacks and candy.
It's cool, bro.
All that.
It's cool.
Yeah,
it's a cool flick.
I seen in the preview that one of them is riding Roombas now.
Oh yeah,
like that's instead of her broom.
Instead of a broom, they're using Roombas.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Pretty funny, dude. Hey, so we don't have any more questions unless Val asks a question. But anyway,
she's probably gonna ask how long.
How long? How long? What?
You know she's a bot, right? That's a bot.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Got me going. I'm like,
long time.
All right. You guys have any more things to add before we go and log off? Because we already at the hour and 12 minutes.
I don't think so.
We usually go an hour long.
Go Dodgers.
Yeah.
Go Dodgers.
He's a baseball player, or she's a baseball player. All right. Well, anyway, we reached the point of the show that we have to go and log off. I know you guys are sad and tearing up because you guys like to see us. And I just want to say, if you haven't I was going to say prescribed. What the hell?
Subscribe.
Subscribe.
No prescriptions here, dog.
No prescription, yeah. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. If you haven't followed us on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, go ahead and do that. Hit that like button, follow us, whatever. Let us know what you guys want to hear on the show. If you guys like seeing us goof around on baseball, that's fine too. If we talk about fantasy all the time, that's fine. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we talk about it here. I think we have enough experts on baseball topics where we can get those answers. We're missing one, but the missing one. Yeah, but he's so never here, man. And if you're listening, yeah, you suck. Anyway, Will, anything?
No, I think we covered everything, man.
Xavi, anything?
We good, brother.
All right, man. I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Xavi, and this is Willpower. Real Talk Baseball. Signing out.
See you guys.
Later.